Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to another two-player co-op quick hits edition. We hope this one will actually be a quick hit, but you'll know already when you clicked on the video how long it is, if it's quick or not. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
What are we talking about today, Sean?
We got another, since our last user-provided topic went over so well, we decided to do another one. So this one comes from courtesy of, I guess not from courtesy. This one comes courtesy of one Mr. Matt Mitchell.
Shout out to Matt. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you so much, man.
You've probably, if you're on the Twitters, you've probably seen, it was what, like a week or so ago?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, all of a sudden this thing blew up where it was like, oh yeah, quote tweet this with your top 5 games of the last, or your game of the year for the last 5 years or whatever. Somebody
Somebody named Alex Carlson said he is at Post Mesmeric, MESMERIC. He said, Twitter poll, quote this tweet with your game of the year for each year of the last 5 years, 2012 to 2016.
We should come up with something like that.
I was
Something
thinking about that. I was
stupid
like,
just
damn it.
blows up.
We should have come up with this because I don't even his tweet blew up. I've just got a screenshot of my games, but
Yeah.
so the request was kind of funny. Did it this week. Everybody's been talking about it on Twitter. It's even still been going around. I've seen people the last couple of days still tweeting about it, so it's still relevant. So we said, what the heck? Let's go through and give our games. Is it games of the year or games of the years or game of the years? Because a game of the year is a thing. Yeah.
It's the game of the years.
Z.
Well,
That's what I'm saying, but it's the game of all the years.
it wouldn't be games of the year. It would either be games of the years or it would be games of the years.
We're just going to say our game of the year for the past 5 years.
The GOATys.
The GOATys. Who wants to go first? We're going to start in reverse order. Well, it's not really reverse. We're just going to...
Chronological order.
That's the word.
From 2012.
2012. Sean, what did you have for your game of the year?
All right, so I believe we agree here.
And I will say... Well, yeah, go ahead.
So 2012 Journey. I
Journey.
think that's what you had on yours, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Now, and Journey for both of us was a
Several years later.
posthumous, but it's not dead. It was a game of the year that we didn't play until
Retroactive.
last year.
And
And you're going to have that for a couple of these because I went back and looked through my trophies. Sean and I were talking before we went on the air that I went back and looked through my trophies. I looked at some of the game of the year awards.
The other GOATys.
Game of the year awards. That's what I'm going to say. 2012 was a rough year. I went in thinking
horrible.
it was bad. I went in thinking that what was it? I told him I thought Arkham City might be mine. That was 2011. So I was like, well, crap. Journey, I thought for some reason was 2013. 2013 was a loaded year, so it didn't need to be in there. But yeah, my retroactive game of the year would definitely be Journey.
2012, at least for me, was kind of a downtime in video games. Like, I didn't have my PS4. I don't know if anybody did because
nobody did.
So I'm not alone in that. But I just wasn't getting games for my PS3 anymore. I think I maybe didn't even have my 3DS yet. I don't know what. I just don't. I feel like I didn't play video games in 2012.
Yeah, I think that might have been the year of Black Ops 2. I can't remember. There was Call of Duty. There was I back then I was in the phase because there wasn't a lot of games I cared about. And like I said, I didn't play Journey until a few years after. Sports games, Madden every year, NBA 2K, baseball games, stuff like that. So, and Call of Duty, I was buying it every year back then, even though just so I could get my butt kicked in online, I guess. But yeah, I would definitely say Journey. Such an emotional game. If you want to get our full thoughts, just go to our channel, search Journey review discussion. We talked about it last year when it was a PS Plus game. Such an emotional game. I thought before I played it, like, what is the? I don't even know what this game is. And then it was just 2 hours of a roller coaster of emotions. It especially being a father, and we've both been through a lot of loss in our lives when it comes to friends and stuff like that. It just really hit me hard, a lot harder than I thought it would. Just fantastic game. That game, so abstract but so beautiful in its own right, and just such an emotional experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's look at 2013. I think this is where we're going to start to differ. What was your game?
The year that brought us Grand Theft Auto 5
That's right. That's why it was such a crazy year.
and The Last of Us. I didn't go with either of these, although I could have.
Oh man, you picked my game.
I think I did, because now that you said you didn't pick Last of Us, which I kind of thought you had, but I guess not. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5.
We came up with these lists separate, by the way, in case we have the same game. I'm guessing we do here.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of the best games ever. And now that I'm in my house and I have my PS4 games back and my PS4 is plugged in, I've been in my house for 5 months now. I don't know why I haven't gotten back into that. I need to just put it back in and play it.
Online or offline? Did you ever beat it?
I never beat it.
Oh,
no.
then
but
you
I also
need
never
to.
really got into the online because it just seemed like it took
We
forever
went
to
online and
get-
played together and stuff.
Right.
But, yeah.
But it just seems like it took forever to get money.
Yes, because I got
you
all my
cheated.
money when
Yeah.
you were still able to cheat without really getting hurt.
Right.
And rank up easily and just sell cars over and over and over and over and over again. I put 350 hours into that stupid game, so trust me, I know what I'm talking about. So what was your game of the year? And was it the same as mine? I think it
ultimately,
was.
If you know me,
Yep.
you're
Okay,
down
so we
with
got the same
OPP.
game.
Link Between Worlds.
Link Between Worlds. My
Now,
game of the year also.
I
I thought this was a controversial pick. Because everybody I saw doing this was like Last of Us, Last of Us, Last of Us, GTA,
I mean,
Last of Us, Last of Us, GTA, GTA, Last of Us.
Tough. Again, I think what's huge for me is always replay factor. Now, I do want to go back. I just said I want to go back and play Grand Theft Auto again. I also want to play through Last of Us again before Last of Us 2. But Zelda, I will probably play through that game at least 3 or 4 more times.
It's so much
Over the coming
fun,
year.
and it's
It
so
is.
nostalgic but new. I knew when that game came out, I almost bought a 3DS just for it. I never ended up doing it because it came out the same time I was getting my PS4, and I was like, okay, I'm good on video games now.
Right.
But when I finally got to borrow Sean's 3DS and play it before I got mine, I was just blown away by how amazing it was, and it helped me get through hernia surgery, which was nice.
Oh, God, yeah.
But talk about wanting to play that game again. The only reason I haven't bought it yet is because I keep waiting for either Nintendo to say there's an HD remake coming or to actually say what the freaking virtual console is going to be on the stupid Switch. I want to play this game again. I want to 100% it, even though there are no trophies, achievements, anything like that. I want to play this game again.
Yep.
All the way through and get all the little gummy bear, whatever those little octopus things are. Collect all 100 of those little boogers so I can max out every weapon, find every single heart piece, and go from there.
Yeah. I like the way they did that, too, with the little octopus things, because they break the map into manageable but still good-sized sections.
And they
they
show
tell you
you-
exactly how many are within that section. Right. And it's like helpful enough to where it kind of leads you where to go, but it doesn't just give it away. Like, you still need to look for that. Like, I found all of them myself. I mean, it's not that hard, but I found them all myself without having to look up, a guide or anything. And I like that. It was the right level of challenge, I guess.
And it was one of those things I felt about that game before playing it the same way I felt about Twilight Princess before playing it, where Twilight Princess, I was so worried about Wolf Link that he was going to ruin it. And those first 5 hours of Twilight Princess are tough to get through. They're a slog. But once you get through that and you're to the main game after that, it's great. I was worried about the painting stuff in this. It's awesome. It's a great
they do it
mechanic.
perfectly.
You can find rupees, you can find hearts, you can go to places you didn't know you could get to and find heart pieces. It's just so, and go in between worlds because you go in the little crack thing. It's just such a cool mechanic. That as much as I love this game and as much as I ended up loving Twilight Princess, no matter what they do with Zelda going forward, whether they keep the open world format or not, whatever they do, I'm not ever going to doubt them again. I'm just going to say, okay, yep. Like this, I was worried about Breath of the Wild because there's only 4 dungeons and you don't find items and you don't pick up hearts and
It was certainly different,
It's
but
so different.
But it worked.
Absolutely.
By the way,
2013,
quick segue.
yes.
In your hat, you do kind of look like Brad Paisley. I think
Logan, let me know.
Hat.
Let me know, Logan. And it's the pube stash.
The scruff.
Yeah, the little bit of scruff.
And
And I will say, 2013 had 3 of the best games I think ever made. All in my top 20 of games of all time. Probably top 15, actually, as far as Last of Us, GTA 5, and Link Between Worlds. Link Between Worlds was just super special to me. And as much as like replay value. I don't really ever want to go back and play Last of Us again, even but maybe right before the next one comes out. But it was so emotional and draining. It was a fantastic, brilliant, beautiful game, but just so depressing in the same in the same vein. Where Zelda, it's Zelda. It's awesome.
Last of Us is one of those games, just like Resident Evil 7, that when I go back and play it again, I'm going easiest difficulty so I can just coast through it and have fun, get the story, and not stress. I mean, that game wasn't super duper hard.
No, once you figured out how to sneak around the things.
Right.
And, yeah.
But that when I play it again, I'm going easiest difficulty.
2014.
So here's a tricky one for me. Before we came on here, I was talking to Kevin about for remakes, when you have a game that we didn't
cheat
play
on
it.
2013?
No.
Okay.
But so, for example, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in 2013 on PS3. I didn't play it until 2014 or 15 or whatever on PS4.
14.
But we decided, no, you're going to count it on the original year it came out. So I kind of cheated. But I'm within those rules, system aside, I think the best game that came out in 2014, I had to go with, now maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment, Mario Kart 8.
Oh. Yep.
I mean, technically it's not a remake on Switch, it's deluxe, but I mean, I've played that enough, and I played it some on Wii U at your house, but
I said when I got it, I said it's the best. I don't have as much Mario Kart experience as you do, but it was the best Mario Kart I've ever played, and Deluxe is even better.
I love Mario Kart on the Wii. I put between single player and online, I bet I hit 100 hours on that game. And I'll probably do the same in this game. Like, talk about replay value. Like, it just never gets old. Nothing ever really changes. I mean, yeah, every race is different, but
every race is infuriating.
But it just doesn't get old.
Yeah.
That also, along with the lines of, I kind of think 2014 is a little bit of a weak year, at least in the games that I was interested in. When I was looking back through the games, I was just like, ugh. Like Mario Kart, obviously, is in my top. It'll be in my top 75. Not in my top 20. It's a really good game, really fun, but it's not way up there on the list. I just think 2014 wasn't that great.
Yeah.
But
mine was Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight first released on the 3DS and the Wii U and I think PC in 2014. I played a year later on PS4. But again, similar to Sean's point, 2014 was kind of a weak year for me too. But Shovel Knight, to me, was above and beyond even Mario Kart. I think Shovel Knight was just something I wanted. Something I didn't even know I wanted was a callback to the NES days, brought back to life with the horsepower that we have now. Shovel Knight, it's still going now, 3 years later. We just got Spectre of Torment. We got the co-op mode. There's still King Knight expansion coming.
Yep.
Like, this game just keeps living on. I almost hate all you Kickstarter backers for keeping them from going on to Shovel Knight 2. But, man, you buy one. Like, I paid $15 for this game, and I've gotten 3 campaigns. One was horrible. And there's another one coming. It's awesome. And you can do co-op mode. You can do boss rush mode. You can do all that other crap. Like, it's just so good. And like, some of my favorite games of all time, like DuckTales.
Yep.
You know? DuckTales and Castlevania and with wall meets and stuff. And then it's got like the overworld like Mario 3 does. And it's kind of got some Mega Man elements to it, and you can upgrade, and it's kind of RPG. It's just such a fantastic game, and for me, it was definitely my game of the year for 2014.
Can't argue with that.
I also don't think we're going to argue on 2015, because obviously the game of the year, Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yep. Did you know, as I was looking online I figured this was going to be my game, but I'm like, let me look at what else came out. Maybe I'm forgetting something. This is far and away my game of the year. But at least on Metacritic, you know what this had on PS4?
Lower than Xbox One. 93, I think.
93.
94, 95 on Xbox
95
One,
on Xbox.
Which is so weird.
Why?
I don't know. Because almost probably because you had some PlayStation-only sites that would review it on PS4 and Xbox-only sites that would review it, obviously, on Xbox. And they would rate them differently. Because everything else, like IGN, GameSpot, Polygon, Destructoid, any of those people, when they rate a game, they just say, this is the score for the game. We played it on Xbox One or we played it on PlayStation 4, but this is the score of the game. Unless they go and unless the Xbox One version was 720p versus 1080 and the frame rate was horrible, then they would they would differentiate their score. But it's almost always the same score. I remember looking that up a while ago and I was like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Right.
But obviously, if you've been watching, you know I'm a Metal Gear fanatic. I love Metal Gear Solid 5. I was reading an article about it today. Just this one guy did a blog post about the whole Venom Snake and everything, and just that it didn't seem like there was a lot of story in Metal Gear Solid 5, but there's a lot of story. And he did like a 6-part blog on it. Probably, I think he said 27,000 words. I read the introduction to it today, and I was like, okay, this is what I know what I'm doing on my lunch break tomorrow. I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to read it. I can't wait. I think I have made up my mind that I'm going to replay that game from the start. And he touched on it perfectly that when you get so overpowered that you've got your stealth suit and you've got stealth camo and you've got all like level 6 weapons and all this other stuff, like you forget you can just go in and you've got D-Dog and you've got Quiet and they're just picking. You don't even have to use your binoculars anymore. They just tell you where the enemies are and you sneak up on them and you kill them. It's almost not the way the game's meant to be played. The game's meant to be played when you start like those first missions 1 through 11 or whatever, but before you even get Quiet, you might have found D-Dog already, but he's not going to be grown up yet, so you can't use him. And how cool it was to go back to that and play as basically naked Venom Snake. Without a doubt, obviously it's my game of the year. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I had it number 3 on my top 10 list. I don't know if it's still that high, but it's probably still top 5. And I might, when I play it again, it might even come back that I love it even more than I remember it, but it's definitely Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I got nothing to add. It's a great game. Obviously, we talk about Metal Gear enough on here.
Never enough.
Far and away, both our games of the years.
Sorry, Witcher 3.
Yeah, don't even get me started.
Come at me, bro.
Okay. And on to 2016. Now, I know 2016 was a long, long time ago, so I'm going to refresh your memory.
If you didn't see our podcast from earlier this year, we'll refresh your memories real quick.
This is the year... God, this website sucks. Come on. This is the year that brought us... This is going to take me a lot longer than I thought because the website's not cooperating. Inside.
I still need to go back and play that.
Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Nope.
Okay. Dragon Quest Builders, pretty big game. Obviously it's not our thing. Severed.
Oh, again, retroactively,
played.
that would have made my top 5. That might have booted Firewatch out. That game's so good.
Street Fighter V.
You did me wrong, Capcom.
Watch Dogs 2.
Fantastic game. Made my top 5.
Last Guardian.
I almost broke down the other day. I almost broke down and Googled, does Trico live? Do not comment and tell me if he lives or dies. Don't tell me. I'm going to play the game at some point. But I was so close to being like, I just want to know if the poor stupid bird, cat, dog thing lives or dies. But I was like, no, don't do it. It'll be a PS Plus game at some point, and you'll play through it, and you'll enjoy it.
Final Fantasy 15.
You forgot one.
Okay. I'm still going. Battlefield 1. Overwatch.
No.
Hitman. I don't know. Was that any good?
I need to go back and play. I am a Hitman fanatic. I didn't want to do the episodic thing, and I haven't got it since they released the full game at once. So,
Firewatch.
Shout out to Sissy Jones.
Uncharted 4.
Spoiler alert.
Dishonored 2.
People love that game.
I mean, I just never. Yeah. Come on. Doom, okay. And then what's the last one here if it loads? Oh, Titanfall 2. Yeah. I will admit I was now granted as good as I know a lot of these games are, a lot of them I didn't play.
Right.
But we already did our game of the year, our top 5. Top 5? Is that what we did? For last year. And I'm going to stick with what I said, which was Final Fantasy 15. I only had to play it a couple weeks probably of 2016. I was, to some extent, a prisoner of the moment there. But looking back, I still think of the games I played. Maybe if I had played other games, it wouldn't have been number one. But for what I played, Final Fantasy 15 number one. I don't know. I'm sure someday I'll go back and play through it again. But that's another one that's just such.
That's an
it's
investment.
just so daunting and. Oh God, it really takes a while to get going. But I love the story. I love the characters. I love the world. I mean, the game was great. It was not without its flaws. Would it even make my top 20 games of all time? Probably not. I feel like I could pick 20 games I like better than it, but it was a solid game. Way easily in my top 75. But I don't want to change what I said before, so I'm sticking with Final Fantasy 15 for GOTY 2016.
And of course, Uncharted 4 for me. Still stand by it. Still, when I think about that game and the journey that you went on, again, like I said, you wouldn't enjoy it as much as I do because you haven't been so. You've only played a little bit of 1. You've played 2, haven't played 3. You're not invested in it like I was. But just such an emotional journey. The storytelling was great. It's definitely not the best gameplay ever, and parts dragged on. It was probably a few hours too long. But just the way they did the story and the resolution of everything, and it, without giving anything away, it really is a thief's end. It's just they did it so well. They wrapped up Nate's story so well, and it's like, as much as I would love for them to make 15 Uncharted's, they shouldn't.
It's all wrapped up.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and we've still got Uncharted Lost Legacy, so I think Uncharted will live on, even if it's just spin-offs like this, or maybe they'll make another one where we play as his brother, or it could be a prequel or something like that. But as far as the main Uncharted games go, they're gone, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, very excited for the Lost Legacy, but Uncharted 4, it was a special game. It's definitely in my top 5 of all time. It may.
Wow.
The reason I talk about, I don't know about Metal Gear anymore, is that may have bumped Metal Gear down a peg. It may have jumped up to number 3. But I need to go back and look at some point once we play through a lot of these. Maybe once we hit the dead zone, maybe we go back and redo our top 10 sometime this summer, when there's no games that are going to challenge that until the end of the year, and then whatever. But yeah,
You could do that.
Uncharted 4. That was our, I don't even know how to say it, our Game of the Year award winners for 2012 to 2016. Have you guys seen the tweet? What'd you guys think? Hit the comment section below. Let us know what your Game of the Year winners are from 2012 all the way to 2016. 2017, is it going to be Zelda? Is it going to be Horizon? I don't know.
Zelda.
Somebody finally bought Horizon, but it's going to take forever to get here, so he won't have thoughts this weekend, but maybe on the next one. But yeah, let us know what your Game of the Year award winners were down at the bottom in the comment section. And while you're here, thank you so much for watching. It's really important. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button too. That really means a lot, if you know what I'm saying. Thank you guys so much for being here. And until the next time, Sean, you can go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing.